Good morning, this is Wayne. What you're looking at is the first section I built. This was supposed to be about all there was going to be in the backyard, but you know how things go. The mountains you're looking at are about 750 pounds of cement. There are three of the mountains that I looked at from my location in Alaska, or from my house in Alaska. I'm going to walk into the track area. The river you're looking at represents the Kenai River. As you can see, there are a couple of bears at the waterfalls trying to catch some salmon. Unfortunately, I haven't put any salmon in yet. Here are the mountains. By the way, I live near an airport. This is a water wheel and a waterfalls. You are now facing the workshop where I do most of the train stuff. If it's relatively large, I build it in my garage. The smaller building on the bottom is opened by a hydraulic lift, as you can see, and that's where I stored the trains when I first got started. Things have changed quite a bit. Carolyn gave me a little bit more of the backyard, and then I finagled a little bit more. So what we're going to see next is the second section I built. There's not a whole lot of happening here. Mostly we put the wall in, built the trestles, built the bridges. Not a whole lot of desert in Alaska, but oh well, it seems to fit in pretty well. As you can see, the locomotives are capable of coming out of the shed. They go along this path. They can make a loop and be switched into any one of these areas. In the far away, there is the second storage section. All the blocks you see were drawn in by hand and a felt tip pen. Hours of work. This is headed back out. From this point, I'll take you into section number 3, which was a gift from my loving wife. It's one of her flower gardens, but I thought it would look a whole lot better with trains running through it. So it'll take me a couple of minutes to get there. Well, not minutes, but seconds. Within the garden, the train takes on a whole new look. As you can see, there's pretty much everything is on trestles in this section, and that was to work them through her garden. And this is going back into the first section. From this point, I was able to finagle a little bit more property out of her hands. We did manage to get by her vegetable gardens, which there are 2 of. And then the reason for the 2 tracks is that's a blind area for me, and when the train goes down the other end, had I put in a switch, there would have been no way to know when to switch from one track to the others. So I ran 2 tracks with a loop down at the far end. At the far end, the plan is to build the main street in North Conway, New Hampshire. North Conway is where I was born, where my mom and dad worked when I was young. So on the far wall will be the North Conway train station. Still up in the air a little bit about that. Trying to decide whether I'm going to have a mural made and then just stick it up on the wall, or if I'm actually going to build a replica of the North Conway station. If you've ever seen it, it'd be a tremendous amount of work, but I think it's worth it. As you can see, when you're retired, time is limitless. Well, maybe. Okay, far away, there are 2 blind switches that I really had to do something with because there was no way to make loops there. So the tower that you're looking at in front of me has 2 security cameras on it, serving 2 purposes. One, to watch the switches so I know when to activate them, and the other one is to protect my investment, which you can probably see is quite substantial. There's over 1,500 feet of track here, and all the buildings I built myself. And as I said earlier, I'm trying to replicate the area that I lived in Alaska. And pretty much that's the Cook's tour. I'm going to put the last thing right up here. That's what the whole system is about. This is one of the buildings that represents a gold rush town in Alaska, right down to the brothel, a bar, hotel at one end, brothel at the other. Train station here, switching station number 1. And switching station number 2. One last thing, from any place here you can take every single track and get from point A to point B, which is the fire engine I showed you with a loop in the shed. So thank you, hope you enjoyed, have a great day. This is Wayne signing off.